Did I make a mistake buying the M1 Mac Studio? Should I have waited and sold it when the M2 Mac Minis came out and save a ton of money? Let's find out. If you found this video by it being suggested, I do all things related to Apple, the good and the bad. If that sounds like your thing, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. More importantly, turn on that notification bell so you won't miss my next video when I post it. Thank you. When I originally wanted to upgrade from my old 2015 iMac, I wanted to wait for the 27-inch iMac to be updated with the new M chip. 3 years later, we're still waiting.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Imagine how slow that old iMac would be in 2023. I ended up getting the M1 Mac Mini at the beginning of 2021, and one thing that I did was max out that bad boy with the most specs that I could. I didn't really think I would be using it for so long, so I wanted to get something that would be able to have a good resale value. What I didn't expect was to be using this machine almost 18 months later, but here I was. When the Mac Studio was announced and released in March of 2022, I was extremely interested since the machine had the same beefy specs that we could expect from a good production machine like the iMac. So I spent the next 3 months researching what the machine could do, and I watched every video I could on every kind of configuration to make sure it was enough to hold me over for many years to come. Whew. That was a lot. The biggest critique I had with almost all the videos was the fact that I just kept seeing Geekbench scores, followed up by 3D tests, graphic tests, blah, blah, blah. And once you've seen one of those, well, honestly, they're all the same unless something big changes. What I was interested in seeing was the real-world examples. Some came close, but still fell short. I would see people load footage in the Final Cut Pro, show me how awesome it was by moving the timeline back and forth. Well, what is that? I mean, I could do that with my old machine once the footage was rendered out. Next, then a basic edit. Cool, with some stuff thrown on it, even better. But when it came time to test the render, I would see people do 1-minute renders. 1 minute? Really? I mean, the machine didn't even have time to break a sweat. Once again, I could do that on my old machine. A little slower, but that wasn't a real test. These tests did help on a brand new machine with nothing on it, running one program at a time. See where I'm going with this? What about opening all the stuff that you would have open while you're editing a video? Now, I did see some people push it to the max, and well, this is what I had to go on for buying my machine. My buddy Michael Fire Jr. did pick up an M1 Max MacBook Pro, and we pushed that thing to run a live stream. The only issue was some of the programs he used weren't compatible with Mac, so we tested everything that we could, and what we found out was this machine was a beast. That made me feel pretty good about potentially getting the M1 Max chip in the Mac Studio. Of course, the MacBook Pro only went up to the Max chip. The Studio introduced the M1 Ultra chip, which no machine has gotten since. Real quick, would you have gotten the M1 Max or the M1 Ultra? Go ahead and leave your comment down below. There's enough videos to get information. So I had an important choice to make. Some of the things I considered when I was deciding this. Can the Max do what I needed? And is the Ultra overkill? Do I make it as future-proof as I can now? For example, using the machine 3 years down the line, would the performance hold up? What hardware upgrades would be made to future machines that might cause my OS to slow down if my machine wasn't powerful enough? Like phones and tablets, computers are also susceptible to old hardware having problems pushing new software. How much should I spend? $3,000 on the setup that I wanted on the M1 Max? Or $6,000 on the M1 Ultra setup that I wanted? I watched all I could, and I decided to pull the trigger and get the best machine that I could afford and have a setup that could probably last for well over 5 years. The M1 Ultra it was. For those wondering what a $6,000 machine spec looks like, it had the base Ultra configuration at 20-core CPU, 48-core GPU, and 32-core neural engine, 128 gigs of unified memory, I don't regret that one bit, and 4 terabytes of SSD, which I kind of regretted a little bit, but more on that in a sec. And of course, after the Mac Mini shortage on ports, I now had enough to make me happy. Because the Ultra got 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports on the front. Let's not forget the SD card slot, something that's very important for creators. On the back, we got 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports, 2 USB-A ports, 1 HDMI, that 10 gigabit Ethernet port, and of course the 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, some things I learned since picking up that machine: external storage setups have gotten really good, which means I probably could have held off on paying to upgrade to 4 terabytes. Now, I still would have had to decide between 1 and 2 terabytes. Now, the one caveat is the 4 terabytes is a little bit faster than the 1 and 2. Those get 5800 write and about 5400 read, while the 4 terabyte got 6800 write and 5800 read. Not much of a change, but I just wanted to make note. It's been over 14 months since the Studio was released, and 10 months since I picked mine up. Am I happy with my decision? Yes, I think this machine pretty much does everything that I can throw at it. The only time that I have the slightest issue, of course, is when I'm lazy and I don't clean up the storage for Mac performance, or I have multiple browser windows open, each with probably anywhere from 10 to 20 tabs open on each, and every program open that I use during editing. Yeah, I know that. I get it. But they're open. Why would I close them? Got stuff in them. I gotta save it, and then I gotta... Of course, like every machine, things happen, and I might have a program crash here and there, or I feel like I might need to reboot the machine, but you should be shutting it off or restarting your machine every once in a while to let it clear off all that garbage. Barring any major issues or changes, I honestly think I'm going to be using this machine for a long time. Now, of course, it'll be a great machine for other things besides editing when that becomes too demanding. Did I go overboard with the spec I chose? Yes, I did. I probably would have been fine getting the M1 Max. I could have maxed out that GPU spec, memory spec, and even got 2 terabytes of storage for around $3,200, plus Apple Care tax. Would the machine last as long? I don't know, maybe? Most of the reviews that I've seen from those who got the M1 Max specs have used them over time and shows the Ultra chip is marginally better, and for what I do, the Max probably would have been fine. I might have to close some windows and an app that I'm not using. Is that worth saving $3,000? What do you think? Comment down below. Now, of course, it's 2023. The rumor started last year that there was going to be an M2 version coming. Then it was canceled. Then the whole machine was canceled. That was a stupid rumor. Now we're hearing more rumors that it's back, even though it was never officially canceled. But now it's back, and the M2 is coming. Look, a machine that costs this much and is this powerful still a year later, why would Apple update it now? Just to get the M2 chip? I don't know anybody, I don't know any information. This is just me thinking, I don't think we're gonna see a Studio until 2024 or even 2025. Let's just hope that it's not so much better that I start having FOMO. You might think I'm crazy for spending $6,000 or even $3,000 on a machine, and you don't need something like this. Well, I have a ton of content talking about the budget-friendly and quite powerful M2 Mac Mini. You can check out that playlist right here. And of course, if you're enjoying my content, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you won't miss my next video. See ya!